Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. Last night, there were two game sixes in the Eastern Conference, and both teams that were up 3-2. One game six to advance to the Eastern Conference Semifinals. So we're going to take a look at that series. It is between the second seeded New York Knicks and the sixth seeded Indiana Pacers. Let's take a look. So, in the regular season, the Knicks finished 3 games better than the Pacers. Pacers had an historic offense. Their offense would have actually had the best offensive rating of all time if it was not for the Boston Celtics this season, who had the best offensive rating in the league and best offensive rating of all time. Knicks do have a better defense. We know the Pacers play at a very high pace where they maybe don't give it their all on the defensive end, but they provide so much at the offensive end that it's an absolute struggle to keep up with them. That's why they've had so much success. The Knicks, of course, defeated the Sixers in the opening round, while the Pacers beat the Bucks. Bucks were shorthanded. Giannis Antetokounmpo was out the entire series. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard missed games 4 and 5, but nonetheless, still an impressive feat for the Pacers to reach the second round. Of course, this is a rivalry that spanned much of the 1990s. Ewing, Smiths, Miller, Oakley, Starks, the Davis brothers, and on and on. Some historic defensive matchups. We take a look at both teams' starting lineups. So if we look at the numbers presented, that is their stats in their opening round of the playoffs. So it goes points, rebounds, and assists. Of course, Jalen Brunson with and from games 3 to 6 just put up some elite offensive scoring games. Games 1 and 2 really struggled from the field, but turned it around and was easily the main offensive cog for the Knicks. Of course, the counterpart, Tyrese Halliburton, um, made each of the last two All Star teams, led the league in assists this year. His shooting numbers haven't been as good as they were prior to the All Star break, but he's still an elite passer. And you figure Andrew Nemhard will probably be guarding Jalen Brunson a lot when it comes to the defensive end. Dante DiVincenzo had his struggles at points in this series, but he did hit the big three in game two and had his most productive game of the series in the game clinching six. Josh Hart, just that do it all forward, listed at 6'4", and look at those rebound numbers. Really the best rebounder, let's say 6'6" and under in the league. Of course, he hit the big go ahead three in game six to help the Knicks secure this series win. Anunoby, that defensive stalwart, can really guard positions 1 through 5, and he provided more on the offensive end in game six as well. Looked very aggressive, had a ferocious slam on Joel Embiid. Pascal Siakam started off the series phenomenally for the Pacers. Had a little bit of struggles towards the end, but still very productive and is really probably the second best player on the team. Miles Turner, though, really had some good games for the Pacers. He's one of those centers that will extend the Knicks defense. You can't leave him open from deep, and also one of the better shot blockers in the NBA. And Aaron Naismith just does his role well. Um, isn't going to score a lot, but shoots the ball efficiently. Isaiah Hartenstein, we'll see how well he guards Turner. Did fairly well against Embiid, although I would say probably Mitchell Robinson did a bit better, but Hartenstein does provide more at the offensive end now. Both teams mostly went just 8 deep in the playoffs in their opening round matchup. Although the last 2 games, the Knicks actually went just 7 deep. Not listed is Bojan Bogdanovic, who got hurt in game 4. He was a part of the playoff rotation. Um, is out for the rest of the season, so he will not be playing. So the last 2 games, They only went with Deuce Miles McBride and Mitchell Robinson off the bench. Achua did play in game 4 after Bogdanovich got hurt, and actually Mitchell Robinson as well. And game 5, no, excuse me, game 3, Mitchell Robinson got hurt. Game 4, Robinson missed the game, so Achua played in 2 of the 6 postseason games. I have a feeling with the frenetic pace that the Pacers play at, that Tom Thibodeau might extend his rotation a bit from the previous 2 games and go 8 deep, and Achua would likely be that third guy off the bench. But Deuce McBride really had some good offensive games in the series. Mitchell Robinson, no, he's not going to provide much in that points category, but he's an elite shot blocker, an elite offensive rebounder. Even if the Knicks aren't shooting efficiently, they usually have a good offensive rating because of their offensive rebounding prowess, led by Robinson and Hartenstein. For the Pacers, Obi Toppin looking for revenge on his former team. Game 6, the clincher, had 21 points, a new playoff high. That high octane guy on offense. TJ McConnell, just when you see him, he doesn't really quite look like a very good NBA player just by looking at him. But man, can he produce for the Pacers? One of the better backup point guards in the NBA. Ben Shepherd, more a defensive guy, but a guy who provides length. Isaiah Jackson mostly would play in blowouts. So really, both teams, I don't expect them to go more than 8 deep in this series. So for the series I've been doing, because I did do Denver, Minnesota, I've been making my predictions as to who will win. Again, if you follow this channel, you know I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I got a Knicks calendar behind me right now. I don't predict Knicks series because I know I am biased. They could be playing the 92 Dream Team, and I'd probably be like, well, maybe if Brunson can get hot, you never know. So I'm just not going to predict it because I can never pick against the Knicks. But let me know in the comments, who do you expect to advance in this 2-6 matchup? Now, if we go with DraftKings Sportsbook, the current odds list the Knicks as the minus 245 favorites. The Indiana Pacers are listed at plus 200. Of course, as I mentioned, a lot of battles in the 90s, but they also did meet in the 2013 playoffs when the Knicks were the 2 seed. Pacers were the 3 seed, and the Pacers were able to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. When the Knicks that was the farthest they got with Carmelo Anthony. But game 1 tips off on Monday. I cannot wait. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.